Such a strange angle, huh? I don't know if I look bigger or littler or what, but one thing's for sure, I'm in my bare feet. And you know why? Because I work for myself and I work from my home and I can be in my bare feet if I want to. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because somebody asked me, but how do you use the board? And so I thought I'd just do a short video. I probably may or may not do a live later on tonight if we have any questions about it. But I saved a couple items to show you. I think it's in this group right here. How I use the board with different things. So excuse the weird angle. I don't know how it really looks, but for simple things, I'm going to try to see how you will see. First of all, we need the lights. And because I use my phone as my camera, I've got to kind of like pretend that I'm taking pictures. But relatively simple. Now these stick or don't stick as well. And so I always try to find a spot where they'll stay. Work with me. And then I take several pictures. I stand back. I am always in square mode. And I click, I step in, click, and then I do a picture of the label, whatever's there. And then I look for this tag that usually tells me what it is made out of. Shorts are really easy. And then I turn it over and I play that same game until I can find a spot. I also have two little pins over here that I can use if I have to. But usually I can get most things, performance stuff, no. And boom, I take a picture and I'm done with the shorts. Now, I do not measure things here. I've already measured these. I process outside. I do measurements and note any kind of flaws. If there is a flaw, I don't think I have anything, but I'll show you that next. Pants, a little bit different. I always go butt out. So I put the pants like this for the first shot. And again, I use that square, click, take a picture. Then I go to, now this, I took a picture of this zipper here to emphasize it had the zipper. And then once again, I do the tags, another tag, and then I put them out. Now, if I have a flaw, I have this. It's basically a paintbrush, but it's green. The reason why I like the green is because I don't have a lot of items that are green and it stands out. And what I do with this is if there is a flaw, click, click, wherever it is, missing button, click, and then it highlights it in the pictures, and then I also highlight it in the description. And at the title, I do, whatever it is, Eileen Fisher, size 6, white blouse, 100% silk, see description, always. It covers you when they go to get it and they want to complain about the item having a flaw, but you've already taken a picture, notated in the title, and notated it in the description. Very important. And then, again, I do the backside. I hate the backside. I hate my backside, I hope, but you're going to see a lot of it tonight. I just think it looks bad. So I try to always kind of fold it over, try to make it look a little bit so it's just not like all bunched up there. Those are pants. Let's see what else. Now, this thing, I actually had to do this in pieces on the floor. Because number one, it's like that performance material. It isn't staying. It's just going to slide and slide and slide. It's just not. And it is super duper long. So I laid it on the floor. I took one shot and then I took a shot halfway and then down the other. But this is part of a scuba outfit that I picked up at an estate sale. Lingerie, pretty much the same thing. When I do it, I always do this thing, like I try to go real big with it. You want everything to look so pretty. you know. I mean, you don't need to take an hour to get everything going, but you know, one shot, close-up shot, maybe a close-up of the cute buttons. Again, this tags. The other tags, what I like about this is people can see there are extra buttons and they're still attached. And then the back. And I do this whole like flow thing, you know, just so they see, you know, a little bit about it. And every once in a while, I have to clean this off. It collects some lint, and I'll notice that when it happens. I wish this was a long sleeve shirt, because we're not in long sleeve shirt weather. But, oh, wait, I have one. Hold on. So for long sleeve shirts, I like to, I usually go a hand down and fold it over. And then on this sleeve, I like to kind of bring it over to the chest a little bit. Make sure everything's kind of laying flat. And again, so I do my picture, the big picture. Now this is a little different for me. I kind of turn my camera this way and kind of get it as an angle. Then if there is any kind of a hit or, you know, an emblem, I always try to get that. Again, with the tags and the other tags. And then when I turn it over, boom, I do the same thing on both sleeves. And try to get them kind of even. Whoop. And boom, take a picture. So those are long sleeves. Now, the reason why my board is so big, because I know that other people have made boards that are smaller, and they work 80% of the time. But sometimes you get an item that's just not going to fit on there. Okay, like I had that scuba thing that wasn't going to fit on anything. So I have the board a little bit bigger because I can go all the way to the top. And the reason why it doesn't matter, even if I went above the top, because I use photo room and I take out the background and everything. This is very nice. It's 100% linen, made in Italy. And you would think that I couldn't get a full-size image of this, but I literally stand back here and I can get one full shot. Then I come in and I can do either a straight on or little cockeyed one. This image here, and let me think, it's on this side and it's up quite a ways right here. And I take a shot of that. And then I just turn it over and I do the exact same thing. And if there's anything unique or something that I want to stand out, again, if there's a flaw, I get my little handy dandy green stick and I point out any flaws it might have. You really want to make sure that you point out the flaws. It just doesn't benefit anyone if you try to ignore it. And things with flaws, so I have sold things with missing clasps, with missing buttons, with zippers that don't work. You know, you accidentally buy something and you can't take it back. You can give it away. You can send it to some, you know, I hate that idea though. Like if you threw it away to Goodwill, you're just creating another problem for somebody else. But they sell. There are people out there who work on things. So that is how I use my board. Relatively simple. I love it. It is rather large. I forget, what did we say it was, 55 by 44 or something like that. And it takes up a lot of room. And I kind of wish that it was up more, but because of the weight of the board, it pushes out too much on the table. And even though I have the weights, the table would literally just, it would just come out. And I have noticed, I've had this for, I don't know how many months. I don't think it's been a whole year yet, but I have noticed that it is starting to bow a little. And every once in a while, I lift it up to make sure, you know, it's not pushing on the wall too much. I don't want to have to repair this wall in any way. But that is it. It is really simple. It saves your back because you're not bending over constantly taking pictures of something on the floor. I was using the wall, and I don't think you can see, but I have 2 screws that are screwed into the wall that I used at one time. And if I ever had to go back to that, I would. But that's it. And that's my tutorial on how to use the slant board. And I hope it helps you. I hope it encourages you, because I did this on my own. I didn't have any help. The only help I had is there was a guy here working on the house, and I asked him to cut the legs off of the table because it wouldn't stay with the legs so high. So he cut the legs. He probably cut about that much of the legs off. And then I bought the, I don't know what they're called. I do know what they're called, but I can't think of it. But I bought those. I figured out how to make it work with this cheap IKEA desk. At first I tried to do it just on the desk, and it was like pushing through the wood from IKEA. And so I just went outside, and I had some spare wood out in the garage, and I used it, and I balanced it in the back with some weights. This is awesome. This it's felt cover. It comes from IKEA. I think it was like $7. It's just a little tacky, not a lot, but a little bit. And like I said, every once in a while, I have to take my brush and I have to clean it off, because sometimes it collects. Like I can see some glitter on there from something. And I just go over it just to clean off some of the extra hair or something that's on there. And I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helps you. I hope it encourages you to do this, because it's just so much easier. And I think that it helps too when you go to remove the background in pictures. And even if you weren't going to remove the background in a picture, I don't think that's a bad background color. I mean, it's not the 50-50 gray that most photographers request or want. But if you didn't want to buy the photo room or whatever, that would work. All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you guys so much. And that is it. And I might talk to you guys tonight. We'll see. Bye.